All right, well, welcome everyone, and thank you so much for joining us today. My name is Piotr. I'm the marketing manager at Correct Travel, and joining me is Lisa Guyotto, our sales manager. And today we are thrilled to take you on a journey through of South America's most extraordinary destinations, Ecuador and the Galapagos, and Peru. These are two truly bucket list journeys, and we have put together a presentation full of highlights, stories, and a special offer for those who decided to join us today. Here's what we have in store for you today. We will start with a quick introduction to Correct Travel, who we are and what makes our trip unique. Then we'll take a deep dive into Ecuador and the Galapagos, followed by Peru. We'll look at highlights, the practicalities, and what you can expect to see and do. We'll wrap up with a special exclusive offer for webinar attendees only and leave plenty of time for questions. The whole session should run about 50 minutes. Please note that for this webinar, cameras and microphones are disabled for all attendees. You are welcome to submit any two related questions using the Q&A feature or type it in the chat. A recording of the webinar will be sent to all the registrants. A quick word about the two of us presenting today. My name is Piotr Liskevich, and I'm the marketing manager for Correct Travel. I am an avid traveler who was lucky to explore 70 countries on 6 continents. I live in 3 countries. I grew up in Poland, lived 11 years of my youth in the UK, where I graduated from Stirling University, and I've been in Canada for the last 9 years. I am also a volleyball enthusiast, and I actually play 3 to 4 times a week. And today with me, I have Lisa, who's our sales manager, and now let her introduce herself.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Piotr. And hello, everyone. What a joy to be here with all of you today. My name is Lisa Guyotto. I am the sales manager here at Craig Travel. I grew up in Italy, surrounded by history and beauty. And from a very young age, I wanted to see what was beyond the horizons. So that curiosity took me all over the world, really, and eventually here in Canada for the last 11 years. Over 20 years in the industry, and I still get excited every single time. When I'm not traveling, you will find me home with my Fonzie. My little cat is a very opinionated cat, and he absolutely believes he's in charge of the house for some reason. Anyhow, so before we dive into this extraordinary destination, Peru and Ecuador with Galapagos, I wanted to tell you who we are and why you should trust us with a trip of a lifetime. Craig Travel is a family business. We started in 1969, so over 55 years ago, and we're still here, still family run, still doing things the way that we believe they should be done. We care, with heart, and with attention to every details. 50 years of trust, that is something that, it doesn't build quickly, and it's not something that we take lightly. We are Canadian, just like you, so we understand what Canadian traveler need, the pace, the comfort, the reassurance that, that someone is looking after you every step of the way. We specialize in small group, intimate enough that you actually connect with people around you, that the guide knows your name, right? That the experience feels personal. Now, what does it actually feel like to travel with us? Let me paint you a little bit of the picture. You arrive at the airport and someone is already there waiting for you, right? From that moment, you never have to think about logistic again. No worry about the next transfer, the next hotel, the next meal. We handle all of it. So most of our journey has a Craig Travel Journey Leader, one of our own people, who is with you from day one to the very last day. Not someone who picks you up and drops you off. Someone who is truly with you, who knows your name, who notices you, when you're lost and when you need help. We include almost everything: flights, hotels, most meal, and all the excursion, all the transfer. And what you see on the itinerary is what you get. No surprises. So we believe in honest, straightforward pricings, but because you deserve to relax and not to worry. And our journeys are also designed specifically for Canadian travelers over 55. The pace is thoughtful, the comfort is real, the support is always there. So you just show up and we take it from there. Now, we also have some wonderful programs that make correct travel experience even better. Do you have a friend who has been talking, about South America for years? Invite them. Our Refer a Friend program means you both save on your next adventure. Sharing a journey with someone you love makes it twice as beautiful, as we know. Traveling solo, no worries. Do not let the single supplement hold you back. We offer a city match, a correct travel match program where you can connect with, traveling companion from other past life, other region that they don't want to pay for the single supplement as well. So we can try to pair you up with someone, right? Someone who loves the same kind of journey that you do. You pay less and you might just make a lifelong friend. And the more you travel with us, the more you save. Our loyalty club lets you earn CT points, correct travel points on every Escorted journey, right? So point that turn into real discount, exclusive benefits, and our most loyal traveler have been with us for decades, and we love them for it. So thank you for that. There is also pay by check discount on your final payment. Simple, easy savings. Now, I'm going to hand it back to Piotr, who is going to take you through our Ecuador and Galapagos journey. It's absolutely spectacular, and then I will come back to share with you our Peru journey. Over to you, Piotr.
Thank you, Lisa. So here we are, Ecuador and the Galapagos. This is a 16-day journey departing October 15th, 2026, and it's led by Susan Collins. Ecuador is one of those rare countries that packs an extraordinary range of experiences into small geographical footprint. Think about rainforest, highlands, colonial cities, and of course the Galapagos Islands. So let us start with the overview of what the journey includes. The 16-day journey takes you through three distinct worlds. You'll spend time in Quito, one of the best preserved colonial capitals in Latin America and a UNESCO World Heritage Site. You will travel into the Andes, exploring Cotopaxi, the Otavalo Market, and the charming city of Cuenca. And then the highlight that everyone remembers: 4 nights aboard the yacht Isabella exploring the Galapagos Islands. The journey also includes 2 nights at Mashpi Lodge, an award-winning eco lodge set in private cloud forest reserve. And this journey is for people who want to experience the full range of Ecuador has to offer. Before we get into details, I would like to play a short promo video about Ecuador that was put together by one of our colleagues, so you can get a feel of what it is to be on this journey. So the video is about 1 minute long. Wow, what a beautiful and inspiring video. So let's dive deeper into the details of this amazing journey, shall we? We begin in Quito, the capital of Ecuador, and one of the most beautifully preserved colonial cities in the Americas. Quito sits at 2,850 meters, almost 2 miles above the sea level, and we take a day to acclimatize before getting into full touring mode. The UNESCO Historic Center is a marvel: narrow cobblestone streets, whitewashed churches, and bustling plazas. The Church of the Society of Jesus, known locally as La Compañía, is considered the most ornate Baroque interior in Latin America, gold leaf covering virtually every surface. We also visit the Guayasamín Museum, dedicated to one of Ecuador's greatest artists, and the hilltop El Panecillo for sweeping city views. We also have a morning at the Otavalo Market, one of the largest, most vibrant indigenous markets in South America. A wonderful place to find textiles, crafts, and connection with local culture. And we kick off the journey with a welcome dinner, the start of many shared meals together. Moving into Highlands, we head to Cotopaxi National Park, to one of the world's highest active volcanoes. We walk along the shores of the glacial lake at the base of the con, spot Andean foxes and caracaras, and take in the spectacular avenue of the volcanoes, a valley flanked by a series of massive peaks. Then we travel south to Cuenca, Ecuador's most charming colonial city and another UNESCO World Heritage Site. The Cathedral of the Immaculate Conception, with its iconic blue domes that we can see in the photo, dominates the skyline. The Homero Ortega Hat Museum tells the fascinating story of how the so-called Panama hat actually originated in Ecuador. And for history buffs, Inca Pirca, Ecuador's largest Inca ruin, sits on the foundations of an earlier Cañari temple, a fascinating layering of civilization. And now the part that takes everyone's breath away. 4 nights and 4 days aboard the yacht Isabella, a luxury expedition yacht with just 40 passengers. Our group will have a dedicated section of the ship. The Galapagos are unlike anywhere else on Earth. Because the animals evolved without natural predators, they have no fear of humans. You can sit next to a sea lion, watch a blue-footed booby dance, or photograph a marine iguana from just inches away. We explore multiple islands. Bartolomé with its famous Pinnacle Rock, Santa Cruz with the Darwin Research Station, Hispaniola for its nesting waved albatrosses, and more. On each island, a certified naturalist guide accompanies us. Every excursion is a learning experience as much as it is a visual spectacle. Guests have also mentioned that Darwin's research station and the giant Tartwas breeding center are among the most memorable stops. A real reminder of why conservation matters. These photos gives you a glimpse of what you will encounter on the tour. Blue-footed boobies performing mating dance, Galapagos sea lions nursing pups on the beach, marine iguanas warming themselves in the sun, and Sally Lightfoot crabs in vivid orange and red. Every island is different, and every excursion brings new encounters. One thing I always say about the Galapagos: no photograph fully captures what it feels like to be there. The stillness, the closeness, the sense that you are stepping into a world before humans arrived. But that's not the end. After Galapagos, we make our way to Mashpi Lodge, one of the most extraordinary hotels in South America, if not the world. Mashpi is set inside a 3,200 hectare private cloud forest reserve, roughly 2 hours away from Quito. The lodge itself is remarkable, a modern glass and steel structure built to have a minimal environmental impact, where the floor to ceiling windows bring the forest inside. The reserve is a biodiversity hotspot, over 400 species of birds, hundreds of orchids, and a canopy gondola that glides silently above the treetops. This is genuine a luxury ecotourism. You will have gourmet meals, spa treatments, guided forest walks, and the sound of the cloud forest as your evening soundtrack. You can really experience Ecuador through all your senses. Through taste, Ecuadorian ceviche, fresh seafood, and of course chocolate. Ecuador is one of the world's top producers of fine cacao. Through sound, the call of exotic birds in the cloud forest, silence on the Galapagos beach, or the bustle of the Otavalo market. Through sight, the cone of Cotopaxi rising above the clouds, a blue-footed booby's feet, the gilded interior of La Campagna, and through touch, volcanic sand between your fingers, the warmth of a Galapagos sea lion resting near your feet. Ecuador is a feast for all the senses. And this slide is just a reminder that we are not just looking at the destination, we are experiencing it. Here are some of the key details for this journey. The journey departs October 15, 2026 and runs for 16 days. The price starts at 16,755 per person from Toronto, and that includes all your international flights, domestic flights, and the cruise in the Galapagos. Your journey leader is Susan Collins, one of our most experienced Latin America specialists. The correct travel difficulty rating is 4 out of 5, and this is for some people a very challenging trips in terms of activity level. There is walking on uneven terrain, some altitude, and boarding and disembarking from some small zodiacs in the Galapagos. The group is limited to just 22 travelers, so the space is very limited. And when I checked today in the morning, we still had 3 rooms left. So the first come, first served. I'll pass it on to Lisa, who will tell you all about our Peru journey.
Thank you, Piotr. So let's look now at this wonderful 16-day journey to Peru, limited to 25 travelers, departing November 4th with our amazing journey leader, Daniel Benson. Peru is a land of powerful contrast from, the Pacific coast to the high Andes and the Amazon basin. Once the heart of the Inca Empire, it is home to incredible history, dramatic landscape, and remarkable achievement that still inspire today. On this journey, we will explore some of Peru's most important Inca sites, from the Sacred Valley to the unforgettable lost city of Machu Picchu. We will also discover the country coast, UNESCO listed landmarks, colonials and modern cities, and natural wonders such as the Lake Titicaca, the world's highest navigable lake. Now, together, this experience offers a really rich and inspiring look at Peru, past and present, its people, its culture, and its extraordinary beauty, really. And I promise you, there is not a single day where you will think nothing special happened today. Every single day, something will take your breath away. Here is how the journey unfolds. We begin in Lima, the city of the kings. Here, Peru introduces itself through history, food, art, and colonial beauty. Then we will go into the Sacred Valley. It gives you kind of the first real connection to the Inca world. The terraces, the villages, and mountains show how closely the Incas lived with nature. Then on to Machu Picchu, of course, one of the great highlights of, of the itinerary. Few places in the world create this kind of emotion. Then Cusco, was once the capital of the Inca Empire, and you can still feel that history everywhere. We're gonna go into Puno and Lake Titicaca. From there, it's a beautiful lake and still the highest lake. This part of the journey feels very unique, with floating reed islands and local communities. So definitely a great site to visit. And then on to Colca Canyon and Arequipa, then Paracas and Nazca and Ballestas. This is the Peru coast where the landscape changes again, right? So we definitely a lot of different landscape throughout Peru, and the Nazca lines bring mystery and wonder to the itinerary. And then what makes this journey so special, really, as you can see right now, is just the variety, right? And in one trip, we experience ancient history, living culture, mountains, lake, desert, coast, wildlife, really a touch a little bit of everything. Now, before we go into the full itinerary day by day, we want to take a moment to feel the magic of Peru. And this is a short video that will give you that glimpse of the landscape that we just talked, and the history and the people and the experiences that makes this journey really, really memorable. Wonderful. Let's dive into this beautiful journey starting from Lima, the capital and the largest city of Peru, located in the Pacific coast. Here, the Larco Museum alone is worth the flight. It is this beautiful 18th century mansion filled with pre-Columbian gold and silver, treasures made thousands of years before the Inca Empire even existed. I walked it through slowly. I was in Peru. I visited Peru myself, and I kept stopping and thinking, human being made this, by hand centuries ago. How? I was just wondering myself. It was really, really beautiful. The historic center, the Plaza Mayor, the Cathedral, and the Church of Santo Domingo. This is one of the finest pieces of colonial architecture in all South America, and you will feel the layers of time everywhere you look, seriously. And then Huaca Paulana, a massive adobe pyramid right in the middle of the modern city, built between the 200 and 800. And in the evening, we have dinner there. This is really, really special. This is a beautiful restaurant right beside the ancient ruins under the star. You will feel it too, really promise. It's going to be an amazing experience. Just so you know, Lima is globally renowned for its gastronomy, featuring dishes like ceviche, lomo saltado, really a dream for food lovers. When we fly to the Andes and descend into the sacred valleys, something shifts. The air changes, the light changes, everything really feels older, deeper, and more alive. The Pisac terraces are the largest Inca agricultural complex in the entire region. They climb the mountainside in perfect steps, green and dramatic against the sky. And when you stand at the top of and look down at what those people built by hand with no machinery in the mountains, you feel truly admiration for what the vision and what they were able to create. Then we have a pachamanca lunch. This is one of the strongest food memories from Peru. They cook the food underground, meat, potatoes, veggies with hot stones, the traditional Andean way. It comes out smoky and tender and unlike anything you ever tasted. I still think about it, really delicious. And Ollantaytambo, this is one of the few Inca towns that the Spanish never destroyed. You walk through streets that have looked exactly like this for 500 years. Living history, the real thing. Now let's go to Machu Picchu. I bet most of you wants to visit Peru to see Machu Picchu like I did. So take a moment here because I've been a lot of places. I have stood in Colosseum. I'm Italian. I have watched the sunrise over Angkor Wat, and I've also sailed the harbor at Santorini, right? So I really had a lot of great moments. But Machu Picchu really was different. It was stunning and breathtaking. We take the Vista Dome train, this beautiful panoramic train that winds through the Uramba Valley mountains, rising in overside, the river rushing below. It is already magnificent before you even arrive. And then when you reach the entrance and you walk up, there it is, Machu Picchu. It's not just the beauty, although it's really, really beautiful. It's just the feeling of standing in somewhere that shouldn't exist, right? You are on top on the mountain peak, right in the clouds. So this was built by hand from these people. That's great. Your local guide will walk you through the temples, the terraces, and the sacred stone. They will tell you what each space was used for and what it means spiritually. Why this exactly spot was chosen and why you will leave not just having seen something, but understanding something. And just a reminder, sorry, this is a UNESCO World Heritage Site. And when you're standing there, you will need the guide to explain you all the small little details. And we will have that for you. Now, from Machu Picchu, we go to Cusco, and Cusco is a city that has two souls. I did not expect to fall in love, but I did. I really did fall in love with Cusco. You walk through the Plaza de Armas, and the cathedral rises in front of you, enormous Baroque Spanish. But then you look down a foundation and you see the stone beneath, Inca stone, placed there 5 centuries before the Spanish arrived. The conquerors built on top, but they could not erase what was underneath. That is Cusco's for you, a city of layer of survival. The Saskatchewan fortress, just outside the city, you will stop there, and it's really massive blocks of stone, some weighing hundreds of tons, fitting together without any mortar, so precisely that not even a blade of glass can grow between them. It's really breathtaking and impressive. Nobody fully knows how they still did it. You can put your hands on those stones and feel something ancient, something really, really powerful. The Corincacha, the Temple of Sun, was once covered in gold. The Spanish stripped it and built a convent on the top. But if you look carefully, you can still see the original Inca curves in the walls. You can see what was taken, basically, and what could not be taken away is the spirit of the temple. We also have a beautiful farewell dinner here with traditional Andean dance because by this point we have lived so much together and this needs to be celebrated. And then the Peru Rail Titicaca train. So here we go, the highest navigable lake in the world. When you arrive, the sky is impossibly blue and the air is so thin and clean, you will feel like you're on top of the planet. We go to Uros Islands, floating islands made entire by totora reeds. Everything on these islands, the ground you walk on, the houses, the boats, all of it really built from reeds. Whole family, whole communities living in these beautiful bobbing islands in the middle of the lake. On Takili Island, we have lunch with a local family, Quechua tradition and custom passed down through generation. And then Coco Canyon, one of the deepest canyon on earth, twice as deep as the Grand Canyon. We go to cruise the condor at dawn, and in the morning light, the condors come. These enormous birds, wingspan up to 3 meters. It's unbelievable. They rise on the morning terminals right in front of you, so close you can barely believe it. That even in the Coco Lodge, right by the canyon, natural hot spring under the stars. After everything we've seen, everything we've felt, you sink in those warm waters and you think this is exactly I'm, where I'm supposed to be. Great. And then Arequipa, the white city, built from a luminous white volcano stone called Silla, with two great volcanoes rise behind it, Misty and Cachani, like guardians. When you arrive, it literally glows. The Santa Catalina Monastery is unlike anything I have seen anywhere. It's a city within the city, full color, cobblestone streets, garden, fountains. For centuries, the nuns who lived there never left. It was a whole world hidden inside walls. Walking through it really feels stepping into a secret. And then the Nazca line. The Nazca line have inspired, various movie and TV show, captivating audience. It's just an enigmatic beauty and mystery surrounding their creation. We fly over them in a small plane. What a fantastic adventure. And from the air, you will see them, a giant spider, a monkey with curling tail, a condor with 130-meter wingspan, lines stretching perfectly straight 4 kilometers across the desert. And still today, it remains a mystery. We don't know how and why they did it. That's really, really spectacular. Then the Balastas Islands, sea lions lounging on every rock, humble the penguins standing in little groups looking very serious about life. And we end up with a nice dinner at the beautiful Arana Paracas resort right by the Pacific Ocean. Now, I want to look into Peru through the senses. I love this slide because it really captured the full essence of the country. Peru is a country you don't just visit, you feel it. You see through the mountains, you taste it in the food, you hear in the local voices, and you experience through tradition that are still alive today. Peru is a country I feel like you just don't visit it, you kind of feel it, right? You see it again, and especially the people around you, they're so colorful and so nice, so kind, and I can't wait for you guys to experience that. Then the flavors. Peru is one of the most exciting food destinations in the world, but what makes the food so special is not only the taste, it's the story behind it. A pachamanca meals, cook in the heart, as we mentioned before, fresh ceviche by the coast, a pisco sour shared with fellow travelers. So food and drink drinks. These are the moments that connect us with the land, the people, and the culture. And the food we know becomes part of the journey. It's not just a meal, it's a memory. And then the landscape changes again and again. One day we are in the Pacific by the Pacific coast, and another day we're surrounded by the Andes. Then we found ourselves near deep canyons, high lakes, desert, islands. It's really, really magical. This is what makes Peru so powerful. But perhaps the most meaningful part of Peru, and again, for me, was the people. On Lake Titicaca, we meet community who continue tradition passed down through generation. We see reed islands, the waving, the color, the music, and the daily life that still carry the spirit of the Andes. This is where the journey become more personal. We're not only, learning about the past, we're seeing how the past still lives today. This is what makes Peru unforgettable. Now, let's looking into Peru at a glance, because every dreams need a little bit more logistics. So let's recap. So our Peru journey departs on November 4th of this year. It's a 16 wonderful day, and your journey leader is Daniel Benson. Dance is magical, fantastic, loves all the people and places, and he can't wait to take you on this amazing, amazing journey. The price starts at 9,975 per person, and this includes your international return flights and all the domestic flight within Peru. This is from Toronto. We do also have other getaway available, so you can definitely you're free to call us or look at our website for other getaways. Excursion, transfer, most meal, everything on that itinerary that we talked to is included. We also have an early bird saving extended until June 26. As for the Ecuador and Galápagos, we're extending it also for Peru. So 200 per person, you can save 400 for a couple. The main highlights you will see, again, Lima, the Sacred Valley, Machu Picchu, Cusco, Lake Titicaca, Colca Canyon, the Nazca Lines, all of it in one journey. Now, one thing important to know is the CD rating, the correct travel rating for this trip is extremely challenging. So, you will be traveling in high altitudes for most of the trip, right? So you might be affected by altitude sickness. So our Peru itinerary is designed with altitude in mind. So we begin at sea level in Lima, then fly to Cusco, but then continue straight into the Sacred Valley, which is lower and gentler for acclimatization. From there, then you go up to Machu Picchu and then Cusco before continuing gradually to higher altitude across the Lake Titicaca and Coca Canyon. So we kept that in mind for your comfort. So hydrate well, drink plenty of water if you're planning to go, a comfortable shoes. But definitely, it's also extremely challenging because there's long travel days by air, rail, coach, and throughout areas with limited facility, right? So that's definitely to keep in mind. And again, flights and domestic flights are included. Perfect. So now, I just want to be very clear about what is included, generally speaking, with our tours, because I know this matters. Nobody wants to arrive somewhere and discover that the most important things are extra cost, right? So with correct travel, that does not happen. Your international return flights from your Canadian getaway, all the accommodation, every hotel are handpicked and personally checked by our team. Daily breakfast plus many lunches and dinners throughout the journey. The excursion and activity, the most important ones are included, and we try really to include most of them, right? Or transfer your crash travel journey leader with you from start to finish, local expert guides at every destination, and also our available 24-hour a day, 7 days a week support, right? So before you leave, while you're away, and when you get home. When we say full inclusive, we mean it. You pack your bags, you show up at the airport, and from that moment, we take care of everything. You just get to be present, fully present for every moment. This is the correct travel promise. Now, I could keep talking about how wonderful these itinerary are, but I think we should hear it from the people who actually been there and experienced it before. Right, Piat?
Yes, absolutely. And I think this is one of the most powerful things that we can actually share today is what our past travelers say about their experience. And all those testimonials that we have on the screen, they come from our passengers who traveled with us last year on those very trips that we uh, show you presented today. So we have Elizabeth who went on an Ecuador tour last year and she loved everything. Ecuador wasn't what she was expecting, but she loved the walks in the Andes. She loved the Cuenca, the Galapagos, and every day you see different things, and also highlighting the cloud forest and the Mashpi Lodge. I think like that's one of the biggest highlights as big as the Galapagos, really. It's you're very close to the nature. You can pretty much touch the nature. You don't have to even go far. We have Robert and Christine who said, we were extremely pleased with every aspect of the trip. We especially enjoyed our visit to Lake Titicaca and boat cruise through the nature reserve. Machu Picchu was a dream come true.
Nice.
Patty Patty, who went on a Peru tour last year. The tour was very well planned and we experienced so many wonderful things. There was a great balance between activities, sightseeing in both urban and rural areas, as well as a good mix of transportation methods throughout the journey. It was lovely to travel with fellow Canadians and explore all that Peru has to offer. I truly felt that we experienced most of the Peru's highlights. Thank you for a fantastic tour. So these are real people who chose to travel with us and they came back wanting more.
Thank you, Piotr. Wow. Thank you for
Uh,
sharing this wonderful testimonial. Amazing.
right? It always it's so heartwarming like when you read those
Yeah,
testimonials when travelers are coming back from these trips. So it's always worth sharing them as well. We also had the early booking bonus that was actually ended at the end of the May. But we extended that as an exclusive offer to our webinar attendees. So for everyone who's watching right now, you can when you book your tour, you can still save $200 per person, so $400 per couple, if you book any of those tours until the end of June 26. So you still have about 10 days to think about it and get back to us with any questions you have. Our sales team will be happy to answer any questions, worries that you have. And then if you book your tour before June 26, you'll qualify for the additional savings.
that's great. So you have spent time with us today. You have seen the beauty of Ecuador and Galapagos and Peru, right? So, and you also met part of Craig travel team. So I truly hope that something today sparked your imagination. Maybe it was Machu Picchu, maybe it was the wildlife of the Galapagos. The spark is often where the best journey begin, right? And taking the next step is very simple with us. You can visit craigtravel.com and explore the full itinerary for either journey. Take your time, read the details, picture yourself there, or even better, call us. This is our number, 1-800-387-8890. Just call us. Speak with Stacy, our sales specialist who loves travel and will be happy to answer your question with honesty and care. We're here to help you choose the journey that feels right for you. To secure your space, all you need is a deposit and final payment comes later. So Travel Assurance is also available for extra peace of mind. So if your heart is saying yes, this may be the right moment to take the next step and we will love to take you there. Now, I think we done. Yes, amazing. Wow, that was a great presentation. Less,
Yes.
right? Beautiful destination. I think maybe we can see we have a little bit of time for some questions. Maybe Piotr, you can help me look into some questions.
Yeah, so I'm just gonna look through all the different channels that we have here. So one of the question was about the single supplement for Galapagos tour. So for that specific tour, the single supplement is actually not that high. It's only 1,695. But also, if you don't want to pay the single supplement, we can try to match with another traveler of the same gender, so you can share the room. So then the single supplement is out of the picture. But if you do want to have your own room, please reach out to our sales team because we have limited number of single rooms on each trip. So we'll have to see if it's still available to book. We also have a question whether the Ecuador journey will be offered next year. and we usually it's one of our classic trip, same as Peru. So we usually offer that every year, and I'm sure our product department is working very hard on making this happen for the next year. And but the best way would be just to watch our website, be signed up to our newsletters. That's where we share all the new releases and all the new trips that are in progress that they will be coming soon. So you can always sign up in advance as well. And very often, people who signed up to the new departures, they can be contacted before the public knows about it. So you get a bit of a priority as well. What else do we have here? Let's have a look. The final payment, I think the final payment for Peru will be July 30th, and the final payment for Ecuador will be June 17th. So it's actually coming up very, very soon. Um, a good question is about the altitude sickness and how to prevent it. Um, I also have been to Cusco in Peru. Do you want to share some of your personal experiences, Lisa?
Yeah, absolutely. The best way is really to drink a lot of water, making sure that you be hydrated all day, all the time. And especially when you arrive at the first altitude, avoid heavy meals and alcohol if you're drinking, right? So that's the most easy way of, managing. Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like when I was in Cusco, I was with a group of people of my age, and some of us were fine, some of us were
Yeah.
struggling a little bit, but
Yeah.
like it's always something that is manageable.
Yeah.
And the locals also have the cocoa tea or cocoa leaves that you
Yes, and
can
the
chew,
leaves,
and
yeah, yeah, and
you can only
yeah,
get them locally. And I think
yeah,
like they also help your body to adjust a little bit
yeah,
quicker.
yeah. And there's also some medication that you can, you can talk to your doctor or your pharmacist and see if there's some medication that you can preventively bring with you. I feel like you never know how it's gonna hit you,
Yeah.
but definitely you really have to drink plenty of water and avoid mainly alcohol or heavy meals on the first day at high altitude. That will really help you ease in. Yes.
Yeah. I think that a good question that we got is, do I have to buy the international flights with you? Can I use my points or can I buy them individually?
Yeah, yeah. For I don't maybe you can for Peru, definitely we do land only prices. With those land only prices will include the domestic flight in Peru, so you can definitely take care of your own international flights. So when you do your own international flight, we will not include your arrival and departure transfer in destination. So you can just call us and we can coordinate that, but it's definitely possible and we can sell land only. For Ecuador and Galapagos as well, we do land and cruise only. Land and cruise only rate is based on joining and leaving the group at the Quito hotel, so and includes all internal flights. Yeah, so definitely possible. Yeah, just
Yes.
call us for more information.
Yeah, just something to remember. If you're getting your own international flights, you're meeting us at the hotel. So you have to
Yeah,
organize your own transfers in
yeah.
Canada and then in the destination. But we do have quite a few people who wants to use their points or like they have some
Yeah.
other connections or they're going elsewhere before the trip. So that's all
Hmm.
possible. Yeah, again, just
Yeah,
give us a call or send us an email and then our sales specialist will be able to help you here.
absolutely.
Um, a good question is about clothing. Okay, I think like it can
Mm.
definitely relate to both of the trips. Like, what type of clothing should we get on those trips?
Yeah, I think that the best advice is to pack light layers rather than heavy winter clothing. In November, especially for Peru, can feel warm during the day, especially in the lower altitude and coastal areas. However, it can be really chilly in the Andes, right? Particularly in the early mornings or in the evening, right? At the higher altitude. So definitely layers is the secret And comfortable walking shoes or comfortable hiking shoes are very important as well, right? Because both itinerary as well, there's a lot of walking, so on uneven grounds and steps and longer walking days. So be comfortable. And yeah, I think the key message is layer, sun protection, and comfortable shoes.
Yes, thank you. The question is about upgrading the seats on the plane. Is it possible, and
Yeah.
how do you pay the difference?
Yes, so it's definitely possible. And if you want to do any upgrade, you just need to talk to our sales specialist, Stacy, so she can walk you through what options are available and the pricing. Yeah, because it really varies on when we request with the airline. So we need to quote it for you. But yeah, definitely possible.
Yeah, so I think the question came from one of our attendees here. Yeah, like the options will be given to you when you give us a call. The prices are changing every day for those kind of
Yeah,
upgrades. So, we can give you a quote based on on that specific date.
yeah,
And then you'll be able to choose whether you want to fly on the same flight as the group
exactly.
or maybe take a different flight depending
Yeah.
on the airlines that you choose, right?
Hmm.
Um, okay, let's see. Um, I'm just checking all the channels here. I think there'll be a question, okay, here, about the weather. That's, I think, the very standard question that we get all the time. Like, what type of weather can we expect in those destinations?
Well, I'm gonna start with Peru and then you take over for Ecuador.
Sure.
Because I don't remember the full weather in Ecuador. But for Peru, November is kind of a transition month and definitely a wonderful time to visit. And the coast, including Lima and Paracas, is usually mild to warm and mostly dry. Daytime often around 21 and 24 Celsius. In the Andes, including Cusco, Sacred Valley, the Machu Picchu, and the Lake Titicaca, and the Colca Canyon, days can be pleasant, but morning, as I mentioned before, and evenings are definitely cooler, right? So Cusco is often around, 18, 20 Celsius during the day, but it can drop down to 7, 10 Celsius at night, right? And Machu Picchu can feel warmer and more humid, around 24 Celsius. And November is also the start of the wetter season in the Andes, so you could also expect some possible rains. So especially later in the day, so perhaps a nice little rain, a light rain jacket with you should do the trick. Yeah.
Perfect. Thank you, Lisa. And I think like it's very similar for Ecuador as well. October is the wonderful time to actually visit the country because it's not too cold, not too hot. It's outside of the rainy season as well. I would say the temperature in the Galapagos Island and Ecuador is typically about between 20 to 26 degrees with cooler evenings. So again, layers, as you mentioned before. And I think as Canadians, we are used to having layers with our weather because you never know what we can get. But thinking about like the higher elevations, the higher altitude that we're going to be visiting, the temperature is obviously a little bit lower. So, having a warmer sweater, like a rain jacket, or anything that you want to wear in the cold morning, then you can eventually start taking clothes off for a comfort to a comfortable level. So we all react differently to temperature.
Yeah.
Um, Someone is asking about the train ride. Um, do you have a little bit more information about how long those trains are? I think like they're usually about a couple of hours long. But we can get back to
Yeah.
you with that. So we'll follow up with the email after the webinar. We'll answer any other questions that haven't been answered today, but I feel like we covered all of it. Um, but definitely the train ride is one of the highlights for many people. But we'll get you with we'll get you the answer with the exact times. Yeah.
The exact times. Yes.
All right. I don't see any more questions coming in, so I think we can just wrap it up for today. So thank you so much for joining us today. And thank you so much, Lisa, for co-hosting with me today.
You're welcome, and thank you, everyone, and enjoy your day.
Thank you. Take care. Bye bye.